The first time I found it, I thought my eyes were deceiving me. I reached into her purse, searching for her car keys because she had left them behind, and instead of keys, my fingers brushed against a small silver foil packet. My chest tightened, my breath caught in my throat. When I pulled it out, the truth stared me in the face. It wasn't gum. It wasn't medicine. It was a condom. And it wasn't for me. The suspicion that started it all. For months, something had felt wrong with Emily. She was always working late, always glued to her phone with that little smile she thought she could hide. She used to talk to me about everything, the patients at her clinic, her co-workers, her dreams. Lately, her words had become short, clipped, carefully chosen. Like a woman building a wall between us, brick by brick. Still, I had told myself I was imagining things. After all, we'd been married 7 years. We had weathered money struggles, miscarriages, even the endless fights about my long work hours. We had survived, or so I thought. That night, when my hand closed around that packet, the denial shattered. I just sat there in the living room staring at it. My hands trembled so badly I almost dropped it. My brain screamed at me, she wouldn't. She couldn't. Not Emily. But the foil said otherwise. Plan. I didn't confront her immediately. Instead, a cold, deliberate part of me took over. The part that wanted answers, not excuses. I went to the garage, opened my tool drawer, and pulled out a small canister of pepper spray I kept for emergencies. Carefully, I slit the condom packet open, slid the condom out, and replaced it with a plastic-wrapped cotton pad soaked with pepper spray residue. I resealed it with tape, neat and clean. Why? Because I wanted the truth. If she ever tried to use it, the reaction would tell me more than words ever could. It was vindictive, yes. But when betrayal claws at your ribs and steals the air from your lungs, logic doesn't stand a chance. Cracks in the facade. The next week, Emily was suddenly radiant. She hummed while making coffee. She dressed better for work. She even wore perfume she hadn't touched in months. Every detail was another knife. At dinner, I watched her scroll on her phone, smiling at the screen, and I asked softly, "Who keeps you smiling like that?" Her eyes flicked up, startled, then she forced a laugh. Just work emails. Nothing special. But the way her hand tightened on the phone told me everything. The breaking point. It happened on a Saturday. Emily told me she was heading to a conference call at her co-worker's apartment. My gut burned, but I played along. I kissed her goodbye, forced a smile, and waited. Hours later, I saw her purse tossed carelessly on the dresser. My heart pounded as I opened it again. The foil packet was gone. I sat there in silence, the house around me eerily still, imagining her with someone else. The thought made me sick. When she returned that evening, her hair tousled and her cheeks flushed, she didn't notice me watching her from the shadows of the hallway. She smelled faintly of cologne that wasn't mine. "Long call?" I asked, stepping into the light. She froze. For a fraction of a second, panic flickered in her eyes. Then she smiled too wide. "Yeah, really long. Sorry." I wanted to scream. Instead, I just nodded. The trap snapped shut. The following Monday, her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter while she was in the shower. I normally respected her privacy, but privacy was already dead. My hand shook as I opened the message thread. "Can't stop thinking about Saturday. Wish we had more time." And her reply, written in the tone she used to reserve for me. "Next time we'll have all night." My stomach churned. My chest hollowed out. The condom hadn't been for some, just in case. It was for him. I set the phone back down, walked to the bathroom door, and knocked gently. "Emily." "Yeah," she called over the shower spray. "Do you love me?" Silence. Then a careful, "Of course I do. Why would you even ask that?" But her voice cracked, betraying her. Confrontation. That night I finally laid it out. We sat at the kitchen table, the silence between us louder than any argument. I held up her phone, the messages glowing on the screen. "Emily, how long?" Her face went pale. She opened her mouth, closed it, then whispered, "I never meant to hurt you." That's not an answer. Tears welled in her eyes. 6 months. The number echoed in my skull, each syllable a hammer blow. 6 months of lies. 6 months of her giving someone else the laughter, the warmth, the touches that used to be mine. I wanted to rage, to smash everything around me, but instead I asked coldly, "Was Saturday the first time?" She stared at her hands. "No." My jaw clenched so hard it hurt. The aftermath. I told her I knew about the condom. Her eyes widened. How did you?" "I found it. I swapped it. You know what I put in there." Her face drained of color as I described the pepper spray. She covered her mouth, horrified. "You could have, he could have." "Good," I snapped. "At least then I wouldn't be the only one feeling the burn." Her tears flowed freely now. "Please, David, it was a mistake. I was lonely. You've been so distant with work, and he made me feel." I slammed my hand on the table. "Don't you dare blame this on me. I was breaking my back for us. For you. And you chose him." Her sobs filled the kitchen, but I felt nothing. Just a hollow ache where love used to live. Decision. I slept on the couch that night, staring at the ceiling, memories of our life together flashing like cruel reruns. First date. The night I proposed. Her falling asleep on my chest after her father's funeral. Were those moments lies too? Or had she simply outgrown me, trading loyalty for excitement? By morning my decision was clear. When she came downstairs, eyes swollen from crying, I handed her an envelope. Inside were the divorce papers I'd prepared weeks earlier when suspicion first clawed at me. Her lips trembled as she looked up. "You already?" "I knew," I said quietly. "I just needed the truth." "And?" she begged. She promised therapy, forgiveness, second chances. But trust is like glass. Once shattered, it never returns to what it was. I signed the papers that afternoon. By evening she was gone, a suitcase in hand, the slam of the door echoing like a gunshot. The house is quiet now. Too quiet. I sit at the same kitchen table where we once shared dreams, staring at the faint outline where her coffee mug used to sit. Betrayal doesn't end with the other person leaving. It lingers in the empty spaces, in the silence, in the way you second-guess every laugh, every touch, every word that came before. But as I hold the pen that signed away our marriage, I also feel something unexpected. Relief. Because I'd rather face the pain of truth than live another day in the comfort of lies.